Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Naval Postgraduate School commemoration of the 245th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. In the dining area, we have traditionally set aside a table to honor our missing loved ones, both prisoners of war and those killed or missing in action. Americans should never forget the brave men and women who answered our nation's call, served the cause of freedom, and gave the ultimate sacrifice. The table is smaller than the others, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressors. The white tablecloth represents the purity of their response to our country's call to arms. The empty chair emblematizes an unknown face, representing no specific soldier, sailor, Marine, or airman, but all who are not here with us. The table is round to show that our concern for them is never ending. The black napkin stands for the emptiness these warriors have left in the hearts of their families and friends. The single rose reminds us of their families and loved ones, and the love of our country, which inspired them to answer the nation's call. The yellow candle and its ribbon symbolize the everlasting hope for a joyous reunion with those yet accounted for. The slices of lemon on the bread plate remind us of their bitter fate. The salt upon the bread plate represents the tears of their families. The wine glass turned upside down reminds us that our distinguished comrades cannot be with us to drink a toast or join in the commemoration. We will now honor America's prisoners of war and missing in action with a moment of silence. Thank you. Retire the colors. On November 1st, 1921, John A. Lejeune, 13th Commandant in the Marine Corps, directed that a reminder of the honorable service of the Corps be published by every command to all Marines throughout the globe on the birthday of the Corps. Since that day, the men and women of our Corps have continued to distinguish themselves on many battlefields and foreign shores, in war and peace. On the birthday of the Corps, in compliance with the will of the 13th Commandant, Article 38, United States Marine Corps Manual, edition of 1921, is republished as follows. On November 10, 1775, a Corps of Marines was created by the resolution of the Continental Congress. Since that date, many thousand men have borne the name Marine. In memory of them, it is fitting that we who are Marines should commemorate the birthday of our Corps by calling to mind the glories of its long and illustrious history. The record of our Corps is one which will bear comparison with that of the most famous military organizations in the world's history. During 90 of the 146 years of its existence, the Marine Corps has been in action against the nation's foes. From the Battle of Trenton to the Argonne, Marines have won foremost honors in war, and in the long eras of tranquility at home, generation after generation of Marines have grown gray in war in both hemispheres, and in every corner of the seven seas, that our country and its citizens might enjoy peace and security. In every battle and skirmish since the birth of our Corps, Marines have acquitted themselves with the greatest distinction, winning new honors on each occasion until the term Marine has come to signify all that is highest in military efficiency and soldierly virtue. This high name of distinction and soldierly repute we who are Marines today have received from those who have preceded us in the Corps. With it, we have also received from them the eternal spirit which has animated our Corps from generation to generation and has been the distinguishing mark of the Marines in every age. So long as that spirit continues to flourish, Marines will be found equal to every emergency in the future, as they have been in the past. And the men of our nation will regard us as worthy successors to the long line of illustrious men who have served as soldiers of the sea since the founding of the Corps. The timeless message of our 13th Commandant has left its marks in the hearts and minds of all Marines, past and present. By deed and act, from Belleau Wood to the Argonne, from Guadalcanal to Iwo Jima, from Incheon to the Korean Armistice, from the hard fights in Vietnam to Desert Shield, Desert Storm, in this country's longest wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and in hundreds of other places where Marines have distinguished themselves, Marines have continued to epitomize those qualities which are their legacy. The success which the men and women who have earned the title Marine have achieved in combat, and the faith they have borne in peace, will endure forever. The Commandant and our many friends have added their hearty praise and congratulations on this, our 245th birthday. It is customary at Marine Corps birthday celebrations worldwide for Marines to cut a traditional cake in celebration of the birth of our illustrious Corps. The cake is cut with a sword, symbolizing the warrior spirit embodied by the men and women of the Corps who bear arms in defense of our nation. Having the oldest and youngest Marines present symbolizes the experience and youthful spirit that are hallmarks of our Corps. The first piece of cake will be presented to the oldest Marine. The oldest Marine present is Major Chuck Sullivan, USMC, retired. Major Sullivan was commissioned a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps on 1 January 1974. He served honorably in both active and reserve capacities until his retirement on 1 July 1994. The passing of the cake from the oldest to the youngest Marine symbolizes the passing of history and traditions to the next generation. The youngest Marine present is First Lieutenant Lane Johnson. Lieutenant Johnson commissioned upon his graduation from the United States Naval Academy in May 2017. Upon completion of the basic school, Lieutenant Johnson attended the Logistics Officers course, earning the 0402 MOS. He arrived to MPS this summer, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, a message from the Commandant of the Marine Corps.
I am absolutely proud to be a Marine. I'm proud of my service. I'm proud of the fact that I was in a position to do something to preserve my freedom and to hold on to those values that can only be had by free people.
Trust is not given, nor is it easily earned. Today, the trust of the nation is our inheritance, a trust earned through the selfless valor and determined actions of generations of Marines on the distant shores and misty battlefields of our storied past.
We were really snowed as to why we would need so many Marines to take this little piece of rock. But after the first day, when they lost so many wounded and killed, they announced that night, we're going to shore. And the island was so different in its appearance from Guam and the other islands that we'd been on. There was no jungle, wasn't anything. Even though we'd been in combat before, you could see right off it wasn't going to be anything like what we had experienced before.
Long before we wear the uniform, long before the eagle, globe, and anchor is etched on our soul, we sense the special appeal that sets Marines apart. Our ethos, values, and character speak to our nation's heart.
All I wanted was an opportunity. Don't give me anything else, just let me, just show me the way and I'll get it done. And that was my motivation. I got an opportunity to serve in the Marine Corps and I chose Special Forces. I chose Force Recon and I did 3 tours in Force Recon. Did fairly well. Got a chance to be a combat swimmer. Made 3 combat dives and 2 swims of 1,500 meters in enemy territory. And we fought our way from the DMZ back to Ojai City. And the team Broadmine, it was my team.
Our nation expects us to be the world's finest military professionals, to be capable and ready, and to represent all that is good about the United States. A nation of diverse heritages, united by common values.
There's no tighter unit in the world than the Marine Corps. I mean, you join the Air Force, you join the Navy, you become a Marine. And it's something that sticks with you the rest of your life.
The spirit of this ethos is born in the hearts of men and women by a common calling, a desire to serve, and a sense of duty born in ideals like patriotism, valor, and fidelity.
When the Japanese struck Pearl Harbor, the atmosphere of the country was entirely different than it is now. So everyone was talking and trying to figure out what they could do. I decided that I would go into the Marine Corps. No matter who you are, do some kind of service for your country. I've always been proud to say that I was in the Marine Corps.
Our ethos is who we are and what we believe.
I was 18 years old, and you find out what you got when you need it. And I just thought I wasn't going to die that night. The NVA had came into our perimeter. All I had was a K-bar. I crawled over and I found my assistant gunner. We could hear Eli, the gunner, was shot up, and they'd come in and took Eli and drug him back into the hamlet. So I told Bob, I'm going after Eli. And I just went screaming, and I dove in and I dispatched him. And then I picked Eli up, I picked the gun up, and I got us the hell out of there.
To be courageous is to do what is right, to adhere to a higher standard of personal conduct, to lead by example, and to make tough decisions under stress and pressure. Marines train, Marines fight, and Marines win. Always.
We set up security, and they took off into the on a patrol into the village. 05:30, that's when the fireworks started. We're trying to find our way over there, and the second time we found more, you know, and some of them were dead and then some of them were alive trying to take cover. I sped up and got between the village and the guys that were our guys. Yeah, we were getting shot at, and Myra was just going away, just boom, 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 boom. I'm alive because of Myra. I'll be dead honest with you. I've never seen a young man have that much courage.
Our nation finds in its Marine Corps men and women committed to preserving trust that's been built over the last 245 years. Marines, once transformed, are forever changed, instilled with the beliefs, ideals, and virtues that have meaning deeper than words. These ideals, honor, courage, commitment, form the bedrock of our institutional and individual character. On this birthday, our nation finds in its Marine Corps men and women who know the meaning of patriotism, valor, duty, strength, discipline, and innovation. We must be faithful to our country, to our Corps, and to each other. This faithfulness must never be compromised. We must respect each other, believe in each other, trust each other.
Our nation finds in its Marine Corps a ready and capable force, never content with the status quo or being average. Marines meet and exceed the standard. That is what Marines do, and that is what the nation expects.
Semper Fidelis, and happy birthday, Marines.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present the Senior Marine Representative at the Naval Postgraduate School, Colonel Randolph Pugh.
NPS Marines, what an extraordinary year 2020 has been. What started as a normal year was changed in March as the COVID-19 global pandemic radically disrupted our personal and professional lives. In addition to the obvious, NPS Marines being ordered to shelter in place and shifting classes to Zoom and MS Teams, over the last 8 months, you have also had to cancel your official and personal travel. You've been forced to adjust to entirely new routines for yourselves, your spouses, and your kids. You've been separated from your friends and family members. Some of you have even lost members of your family. To top all this off, many of you were forced from your homes by this summer's wildfires. It has truly been a trying time. However, as I look back on the year since we celebrated the 2019 Marine Corps Birthday Ball, what strikes me the most is not what you have not been able to accomplish, but rather what you have accomplished. Despite all the challenges placed in front of you, you have continued to excel in everything asked, and more. From PCSing to Monterey, from duty stations around the world, to your Marine Corps obligations of training readiness, to academics, research, and thesis writing, to mission essential TADs, fleet engagement, and exercise support, you have proved equal to every professional challenge. In addition, you have quietly but confidently stepped up as leaders at NPS and in the Monterey community, caring for each other and for those around you in ways both large and small. These have been trying times. However, as the Commandant said in his birthday message, in trying times, Marines don't take a knee, not in combat and not during a pandemic. You are a special group of Marines at a special place during a special time. War has been described as the ultimate contest of learning. This learning must take place before as well as during a war. I believe that you represent a model of 21st century learning leaders. From the challenges of space, cyber, artificial intelligence, and operations in the information environment, to the challenges of managing a multi-billion-dollar organization or driving change in our sometimes conservative culture, I am completely confident that whatever the complexities 21st century promises, you will ensure that the Marine Corps remains the most ready when the nation is least ready. I am extremely proud to serve beside you here at the Naval Postgraduate School, and I consider being an MPS Marine one of the greatest privileges of my career. We are first to fight, first to think, and first to lead. Happy 245th birthday, Marines. It is now my privilege to provide the NPS Marines with a message from Lieutenant General Gruen, the Director of the Joint Artificial Intelligence Center and NPS alum.
NPS Marines, happy 245th birthday. I'll leave the ceremonial addresses to those better equipped than me to give speeches. But I will say this, happy birthday to the keepers of the intellectual capital that's going to transform our warfighting and our service. I'm motivated by the tone of the dialogue today in the Pentagon, in the agencies, in the services, and in the Joint Force. This transformation is real, but only to the degree that we make it so. We like to say that we're in contested spaces, but those spaces are only contested to the degree we are willing to fight. The bended knee is not a tradition of our Corps, and I suggest that we do not start now. But this has implications. America's advantage in World War II was untapped industrial capacity. Yamamoto's famous comments were prescient. I fear we have only awakened a sleeping giant. They did, and a giant of great strength crushed dictators across multiple continents. It set the United States on a course of military dominance over the space of years. But here's the thing. When some future Yamamoto chooses to take a shot at us, we won't have years to crank up our engines. We will have minutes, sometimes seconds. We're entering an era of digitally enabled capabilities that move at machine speed, literally warfare at the speed of light. I know you know this. America's advantage now is in digital environments. Creative AI development, digital platforms that host creative and aggressive industries, vested academic environments in places like the Naval Postgraduate School, providing a basis for surging technical implementation. We have a dynamism and competition of ideas that is unmatched. You have been chosen to connect the dots between our warfighting constructs, our fighting technology, and a rapidly evolving digital modernization environment. I have been in the change agent space for a couple of years and have seen change and attempted change over many organizations. I'll share a lesson I learned along the way. Yours is not a technical role per se. You are translators. You live in this unique space of warfighting expertise combined with technical understanding. You will be most effective where you can translate Marine Corps warfighting and decision-making requirements into tech platforms, better equipment, and opportunities to be found in a new data-driven reality. You know, when I was a young captain at the Naval Postgraduate School, when the WWW, the World Wide Web, was brand new, the Marine Corps did not really understand the investment they were making. Many of us didn't really understand it either, but we were more than willing to serve in Monterey for a couple of years. That isn't the case anymore. You are graduating to a Corps that needs you, trusts you, and wants you back. You are graduating to a Corps that has high expectations of you and will need your vision. You have been granted an extraordinary opportunity, and to whom much is given, much is expected. To be in the Marine Corps in this time and place is an extraordinary gift. Maybe you've heard, illegitimi non carborundum, Latin for, don't let the bastards grind you down. Come back to the Corps swinging and accelerated us into the future. I'm proud to serve with you, Marines. You represent the best hope of our Corps to bridge some big gaps. Best of luck to you and your wonderful families. Semper Fidelis.
Ladies and gentlemen, though we are physically separated, let us take a few moments to reflect upon all the work that has been accomplished in the past year. This concludes today's commemoration. Happy birthday, Marines, and Semper Fidelis. Hooray!